Ghana for or for Munyambe Kayankasia Mamia, ye friend Cecilia Dapaah, chese a man for CN corruption kese pan a course so I wanna catch it. Omukumusika bebre just a foreign currency any Ghanaian Yankasia Ghanaian cedis bebre woni dem mu a ekoye bebre a nsem kodi OSP ho no mu a yetwe ne srani abasodofo ende ejebo eja enya ba bedu yesi ne ho son ya ma me ne ho son Cecilia Dapaah ne ho son omo find no evidence of corruption e ne ho yesi ne ho son corruption bia omo de target ni bia no bebie ni ho a eye say ye mami obokron no anase corruption kese eta ne to ye see omo ye nhwehwemu no omo see there is no evidence of corruption etari yankase ye mami no hodofo disi amene okasa no eye chese investigation kese na betodwo a ye see corruption bia eni ye mami no hodofo ensem bebre ekasa nsem wehu a ekoso e wo Ghana ase ya efi OSP na kache Ghana ase ni obi aka wanse mam sibiji ni nyina but for manko ne koti yankase ye mami Cecilia Dapaah the court case currently see an emra Ghanatube so
this half-year report that the OSP put out, and I'll start off with you, Leomatic people. The OSP did indicate in this particular report the specific matter regarding Cecilia Dapaah, as was captured within the week. They had cause to clarify what they had put in there. They captured it that they have found no evidence of corruption at the time. In fact, after the collaboration with the FBI, but then they had indicated that there was no direct and immediate evidence of corruption was identified during the investigation. What does that say legally? The legal nuance in this particular way that they captured the latest on this Cecilia Dapaah case.
Okay, so one, with what OSP said, it just means that is for now. That's the key thing, because let's remember, crime has no, that's in Ghana. Some places there is expiry date, but in Ghana we're still using that old law that look, there is no limitation. So let's use ordinary words, no expiry date for a crime. So though for now OSP cannot find corruption, if tomorrow they were to find corruption, the case would be back right where we started from. That's to say that Cecilia Dapaah will be hauled before a court of law for corruption. Okay, so this is not the end of the case, and that's the same thing that the FBI is saying, right?
Right.
Now the second part is that we also know that when Cecilia Dapaah found that he didn't find corruption, he said he suspects money laundering and structuring. Thanks that Leo is here. Okay, so he will represent Mr. Raymond Acha. The file is currently with Leo. Leo is here. Leo is head of investigation, so we have to push him.
So he's head of prosecution now. I think, or there's investigation.
Yeah, legal and prosecution.
So
Leo Siama is here. He will tell you. He has the file, and he knows. And we are in court because I'm pushing that. Yeah, Professor Jampo and I, we sued last year when Godfrey Dami gave an opinion that Yoko should not go ahead with the investigation into the money laundering matter because there was no predicate offense.
Right.
That's to say, Godfrey Dami was saying that we should first find out that the Cecilia Dapaah get the money from, let's say, cocaine, from murder, from stealing, from fraud, 419, etc. That's the old jurisprudence. We have moved away from it in the new anti-money laundering law. Yet Godfrey Dami as Attorney General, okay, had this opinion delivered to Iyoko, then headed by Mami Tiwa Adodankwa, and we all know the things Tiwa Adodankwa was doing for Ekufuado, covering the Sewa Bruni case, Abu Jinapo, and this Asensu Buachi, that case against them, etc. Many cases that you would find Mami Tiwa Adodankwa then at the CID covering up for Ekufuado. So she went to Yoko and the same thing. Remember even the NAM1 case, that's how she came out and said there's no case against NAM1. The public pushed The number one case went to court, and number one is asked to open his defense. A case that head of Yoko came and said, no, they don't find anything that number one is done wrong that can be prosecuted in a court of law. Yet eventually it went, and it has passed submission of no case, where number one is now having to open his defense, right? So you see from everything that when that opinion was given, I could see that this was a sham opinion. So we spoke with Jampo, etc., and we agreed that we'll sue. So, long story short, you see that even though the court has not yet ruled, Yoko has agreed that they will do the investigation because it's so clear. Article 286, Clause 4 of our Constitution says that if we find you with money, okay, and of course, any asset at all, and that asset is not your salary, that's your income, it's not inheritance, it's not a loan, etc. There's a fourth one. Or it's not a gift, thank you, Honorable. It will be deemed to have been illegally obtained. And so, please, my key point here, key point on the key points program is that OSP did investigations on the source of the money. Cecilia Dapaah said she got that money from cosmetic business. 2, OSP investigated and found out that Cecilia Dapaah doesn't own those businesses. Then when it comes to the $800,000, that's part of the money. She said it belongs to her deceased brother, the shoemaker. When the shoemaker's wife heard it, and then through lawyer Kusi, they were prepared to sue Cecilia Dapaah for the money, then she retracted that story.
Right.
So the key point I'm making on this key points program is that by Article 286 of our Constitution, it says if we find you with something that you cannot explain as a public officer, the source of that asset, it is illegally obtained. And that is money laundering when it comes to the criminal law. And so that is what Yoko is looking into. So all those saying that, oh, she's been exonerated, I'm like, what exoneration? Yoko has a file. The man who has a file, thankfully, is seated right here. So, when we get there, he would go into the details. And it's public knowledge. I think we played it here, where OSP said he has handed over the file to Raymond Archer. And Raymond Archer acts through Leo Siama, who is here. So he should go into it. So please, let's stop the propaganda. As for this money, as long as I live, we will get to the bottom of it. And thankfully, Gamanche, Kentucky Teko Churu II is leading the whole king of Accra. You wait and see. We are not letting this money go. How? When you put everything together, over $1.5 million, then you come to the Ghana cedis, over 5 million Ghana cedis.
I recall that the former Attorney General's position was that to the extent that there was no predicate offense, right?
Yes.
That relates to money laundering. There was really no need for Yoko to waste its time investigating something of the sort, because there had to be an offense or an action that related to what OSP is saying is suspect to be the proceeds of. But there hadn't been, in his opinion, I'm sure that's what he said.
Yeah.
Reason why Yoko returned the document back to the OSP, that look, we don't want to waste our time on this. This is what the Attorney General is saying to us. So what is your point of departure on this? Especially because at the time, in the mind of the legal unit of Yoko, what the Gofredame had indicated or had advised them had some sound consideration in there.
It didn't have sound consideration.
Why?
It was just political machination. So I'm coming to the why.
Okay.
Look, Parliament has expressly, I want to read the bill to you. Parliament has expressly said that in order to comply with Ghana's international obligations, they were passing a new anti-money laundering act. And one of the key things they're doing is to move away from the requirement for of a predicate offense. It's expressed in the bill. I think I've read it here a number of times. I've read it here. Don't worry, we'll find it. I'll read it again. And it's good Leo is here. If I'm wrong, of course, he knows that he can correct me. In law, we are not afraid to make mistakes. If I'm speaking wrong law, Leo knows that he has to correct me immediately before I pollute Ghanaians, right? Okay. So, and that's the matter we are even fighting in court. And before we even finish fighting, Okay? Iyoko is saying that, and it's because Leo and Co believe that what Jampo and Na say is right. That's why they went for the docket. That's why they took it from Kisie Jabe, and they are doing the investigations. If they thought it was wrong, they would have just said, look, come on, I mean, it's wrong, so let the court decide. Okay? So, what that Godfrey Dami wrote, I'm telling you that Parliament has expressly said that we, in order to meet our international obligations, right, we are passing a new Anti-Money Laundering Act. Is it 1041, Leo? Correct?
1044.
1044, thank you. 1044. And one of the key things they said is that we are jettisoning the requirement for, or is it you say requirement of a predicate offense. It's expressed in the bill. We've read it and then we've shown it the court, okay? And you know what this in Parliament was doing? Parliament was trying to catch up international, because for the UK, as far back as 2002, they have this law they call Proceeds of Crime Act, where they said, look, no, we are no longer insisting on a predicate offense. So if you check 2002 to when we pass our law, at least.
Other four when semi the Jayanka say Mammy Cecilia Dapaah court case no, yes, see FBI for see mammy ne whom a song, there's no evidence of corruption. Entinin Yamana or me seize and then a bank account no me freeze no enimenian or me release him another four. Osha or me my mammy ako afani huedi. And say on be taking a step further. You see, almost Iyoko for so as answer your investigation biom or your mammy court case. You're for way and then say my the judge say Ghana phone in account was a mammy should be in a bro or Ghanatube of family if somebody like it. No matter subscribe no matter my notification board so I might send a bear. Bring your BB drop your content say woo with an tempan watch me with a mother for aha and I'm being 17 ABC or Ghanatube so. Macramunina, Medamunina say, Bebre.